In the past, the demon lord Varvatos grows weary of his existing life. Consequently, he intended to have someone defeat him to revalidate his human nature. But there lacks a person strong enough to achieve that task. Thus, his last resort is to execute reincarnation magic. In the present day, it's the 10th birthday of Varvatos' new life as Ard Meteor, who was born to a pair of average, ordinary people. During this current era, the study of magic has diminished. However, on the positive side, his physique is notably athletic, providing him with excellent strength and physical abilities. When questioned by his parents about his aspirations in life, Ard privately contemplates his desire to cultivate a friendship of equals with someone. This objective, however, does not materialize when he attempts to befriend a group of boys and subsequently some girls, but on both occasions, he fails to connect with any of them. Ard later expresses his frustration by destroying the forest near his home, and when he pauses to rest by his house's doorstep, he receives a visit from the mayor, Olhide. From him, Ard discovers that the most effective way to make friends is to be kind and respectful. Energized by this, Ard adheres to Olhide's guidance. Yet once again, he struggles to leave a good impression on his peers to form friendships. Frustratingly taking out his anger on the monsters in the forest, Ard hears a young girl's voice in distress. Soaring to the spot from which the voice emanates, Ard witnesses a young elf girl battling an ancient wolf. Upon closer evaluation, Ard thinks the girl is merely expressing her anger against the creature. Back at Ard's residence, Olhide enjoys tea served by Ard's parents while discussing how his daughter has been acting withdrawn due to bullying and rumors. Returning to the girl, she reduces the wolf to ashes with a magical incantation, and Ard surmises the girl's identity to be Lydia. Noticed by the girl, Ard makes an effort to strike up a conversation, but his attempts to compliment her through praise or critique are unsuccessful. This prompts Ard to directly ask to be her friend, a plea the girl tearfully declines before fleeing. Back at Ard's home, Olhide bids farewell to Ard's parents, and the girl, who is revealed to be the mayor's daughter Irina, embraces her father. As she expresses her disdain for the countryside, Ard returns, stating that he followed Olhide's suggestion yet failed. The two would then encounter each other again, leading to a succession of Ard's attempts to befriend Irina, all of which end in failure each time. Eventually, a significant group of monsters made up of goblins attacks the town. While fighting off the monsters, Jack, Ard's father, tells Ard that the monsters invaded the town due to a faulty dungeon core. As it turns out, Olhide informs the two that Irina had ventured into the mountains earlier that afternoon, and Ard blames himself for being overly friendly with her. Soaring away, Ard discovers Irina encircled by a pack of goblins led by a hobgoblin. Just as Irina was accepting her fate, Ard arrives and dispatches the goblins with a few spells, and then takes out the remaining two goblins and hobgoblin. Jack, now with his wife Carla, is shown to have defeated all of the goblins in the town. While Jack is concerned about Irina, Olhide is not, asserting that his daughter will be safe. Returning to Ard and Irina, the two make amends with each other, and Irina finally acknowledges Ard's friendship. Years later, Irina surprises Ard by climbing into bed with him and proposes that they join the Academy of Magic together. Ard and Irina both meet Headmaster Golde of the Laville National Academy of Magic. Golde graciously introduces himself to the two as the Academy's headmaster and remarks on their heritage as the offspring of national heroes. Due to the achievement that Ard accomplished in his youth, he was exempted from the practical entrance exam for the senior division, but is still requested to complete the written section. Committing to perform well in that part, Ard later discovers that he failed the exam academically. However, in other aspects, as stated by Golde, his responses far exceeded those that have been projected. In simpler terms, the answers that Ard provided have significantly advanced the contemporary magic techniques. It's at this moment that Golde announces to the students in the vicinity of Ard's brilliance, but also how he is the son of the legendary mage Jack and warrior Carla, who once vanquished the evil god Dikeus, and an enigmatic figure observes the event unfold from the shadows. Later, Ard and Irina discuss their parents' previous achievements while strolling down a hallway. Upon entering their classroom, they are confronted by most of their fellow students who request to befriend them. Apart from those students, there was a small group that did not display the same level of respect, and they then witness a young succubus being harassed by a noble student. Irina steps in, and the bully introduces himself as Elrado, mentions the house he belongs to, and defends his actions by asserting that the girl belongs to a house that serves under his. Ard then intervenes and insists that the girl be treated with fairness and that he apologize to her. This results in Elrado suggesting a duel between them to resolve the issue, and Irina then identifies Elrado as someone who achieved becoming a mage square at a young age. As Elrado brags about his lineage, Olivia arrives on the scene and demands to know if Ard was the main cause of the disruption. Hesitantly, Ard admits that he was and inwardly wishes that Olivia doesn't recognize him as the reincarnation of Varvatos. During his brief exchange with Olivia, she allows the duel to proceed between El Rado and him. Later outside, Ard considers how he would battle El Rado without Olivia becoming aware of his true identity. The duel then commences with El Rado striking Ard with various types of flare spells, but Ard effectively counters every one of them with barriers. Ultimately, Ard triumphs in the duel using his own Giga Flare spell. After Irina compels El Rado to uphold his part of the agreement, she also reassures the girl to reach out to her or Ard if she finds herself in trouble again. Olivia then interjects, which annoys Ard, and she inquires about how he managed to double cast 2 spells during the fight. Embarrassed, Ard offers a clumsy explanation as to why, but is informed that what is called double casting was a skill lost in the modern age and is considered common knowledge. Despite her cautious attitude toward Ard, Olivia retreats, but asserts that she will uncover the truth soon enough. The next day, Olivia begins to officially instruct the class and divides the students into groups. Noticing the girl was alone, Irina requests Ard to invite her to join them, and he complies. Irina then proposes to the girl that she joins their group. She agrees and introduces herself as Ginny Findesalvon. At the site of the class assignment, Olivia directs the students to go to the dungeon's 3rd floor and hunt and skin a black wolf. Turning her focus to Ard's party, she asks Ard if it will be easy for someone like him. Once again, flustered by Olivia, Ard steers his group away from the situation. Eventually, the group comes across a pack of black wolves, and Irina and Ard handle them using a flare spell. This, however, proved to be somewhat problematic for them, as the remains of the wolves turned out to be overly charred to skin. Feeling insecure about her ability to contribute to the team, Ginny apologizes for her uselessness and mentions how El Rado scolds her for her ineptitude. To help Ginny build some confidence, Ard offers her some personal magic lessons. Despite her reluctance, Ginny ultimately accepts the offer, and they begin immediately. But Ginny struggles to match Ard's magical skill. Although Ard attempts to uplift Ginny's spirits, her self-esteem was shattered by the torment she faced from El Rado and his companions. So, Ard then demonstrates a new form of magic he developed called script magic, and then goes on to teach it to both Irina and Ginny. Before long, Ginny is shown to have mastered the magical technique, and then the trio falls into a trapdoor, leading them to a level where they confront a minotaur. Seizing the opportunity, Ard utilizes the encounter as a means to further instruct the two about script magic and permits a mentally rejuvenated Ginny to vanquish the beast. Back on the surface, the group hands over the horns of the Minotaur they overcame, and though it's claimed that script magic was employed to conquer it, Ard refutes this assertion. El Rado then scolds Ard for what he perceives as depending on the girls excessively, and Ginny speaks up in Ard's defense before smacking him aside, while Irina further humiliates him by placing a basket of black wolf pelt over his head. Enticed by the incident, Ard attempts to depart only to be halted by Olivia, who wishes to engage in a lengthy discussion with him.